Hello everybody, it is January 4th, 2021, and I'm out at the barrel today with another motor. This one is mostly a 1959 Evinrude Sportwin 10 horse. I've done videos on this motor before. Bought this motor in 2018, I think it was, at the Tomahawk Outboard Meet in Tomahawk, Wisconsin. Bought it from another member. Bought it at parts price because I was aware that it had a bad power head on it. I paid the same price he paid for it. I just gave him his money back for it. He didn't want to mess with it, so I took it and I started it. It actually did run as it was. I was able to start it and run it. I did a video on it as it was. It ran really low on power, sounded bad. It had one of the wrist pin bushings was beaten just about completely out of one of the connecting rods. Lots of slop in it. Sounded like the pistons were trying to change holes when it was running. So I changed the power head from the original to one that I had purchased on another parts motor. It was a 1959 Johnson QD 10 horse. So that was the second power head that was on this motor, and it ran fine, but it had a fuel leak somewhere that I still haven't really been able to diagnose completely. Still have the power head. I will figure it out at some point and probably put it on another motor, but I had, in the meantime, got another 59 Evinrude Sportwin Jubilee power head, and had that on this motor, and I thought that was probably going to be the one that stayed on it. It ran all right too, but I wasn't completely happy with it. It was a decent runner, but it wasn't great. So I also have had this 58. It's now got a 1958 Evinrude 10 horse power head on it. Bought this power head from my buddy Ron Baker for, I think, 20 bucks. And I've just had it sitting on the shelf. It still had original coils in it. It had points and condensers replaced at some point. Still had original wires on it. I went through it and put new coils, points, condensers, plugs, plug wires. The carb was already rebuilt from the previous two power heads that I have had on it. I just swapped the carburetor out. The lower unit was resealed, new water pump impeller 2 years ago, the first time I went through this. And so basically it was another power head transplant. I have never run this power head. It's pretty stiff from sitting for God knows how long. This one fought me a little bit going through it. The points weren't, I had a brand new ignition kit, but the points were not in the best. I had to do some tweaking and adjusting on them, and for the first time ever, I've had to actually sand the contact points to get through the oxide layer. Normally, I can just scrub them good with acetone and run a piece of cardstock through them, and they're good to go. Not in this case. I was still getting a good ohm of resistance through the points after doing that, and I ended up having to use a real fine emery paper and get through the oxide layer that way. So they're fine now. Took me a little bit, but I got through it, and it seems to be okay. This is the first start. I have not tried to start this motor. I don't know when the last time this power head ran. It's Lord only knows. Ron never ran it on anything when he had it, and he passed it along to me, and I haven't run it, and it's been on my shelf for at least 2 years. So anyway, it's on this motor. We're going to try it. This one might finally be the one that stays on it. This is the JohnnyRude Junkyard Jubilee that I have done past videos on, and once I'm happy with a power head, I will do a finish video on this on the lake. Hopefully this is it, and we can do it this season. Let's fire it up and see what happens. started. That's good news. Gave it a good dose of fogging oil in the cylinders and let those sit. Cycled it over a few times and let those sit for a couple of days. Gave it another shot today before I started it, so it's well lubricated when it started. Okay. Water pump's still doing good. Hopefully this will be the end of the transplants on this one. Till next time, thanks for watching. Keep your prop out of the mud.